Alright guys, here it is. My 2011 Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor from Riverside County Sheriff. Now, I didn't buy this one directly from them. I got this from Giant Auto Sales LLC in Monterey Park, California, and then I had it shipped here. This thing is super clean. It does need a few touch-ups on the paint here and there, but it's way cleaner than my 08. There's the 08. Had that thing since 2018, and then I just got this one today. I've been watching it since December. I've been penny pinching, working overtime, and yeah. Oh, I know people are going to ask about the antennas, and to my knowledge, the 4 are low jack. Whenever you see 4 like in a square like that, here in my neck of the woods, this one is like GPS or internet, and then that tall one is for the radio. And then I'm not too sure about the salt and pepper shaker, but yeah, or at least that's what the pucks are, and like I said, in my neck of the woods. No badging. I'm not sure if Riverside County did that. I know some police agencies are kind of weird about when they sell these things, like, oh, we got to take off the interceptor badge because it says police, it's illegal. No, it's not illegal. But also another thing that I noticed about this is that it does have overspray, so it was spray painted at some point. And there's another very interesting thing about this trunk that I'll get to in a minute. And a little bit, or a tiny crack on the rear bumper. This thing was involved in a side swipe in 2022, and it was taken out of service in 2023 and auctioned off. So it was in service up until that point. I don't have the details on it. I tried to fill out a public information request through Riverside County, and when they got back to me, they basically said that the Public Information Act or whatever the car doesn't fall under that, so they could not share any details about this car with me at all. I'm gonna try and call them and see if there's any other information that I could get from it, because I found a few things with some phone numbers on there, so I'm gonna try those. But let's take a look at the inside. Super clean. No ticket light, but it did have some type of light mounted right there, or a camera, I suppose, with the giant headrests. And honestly, guys, so this is my first time having a 2011, and I don't know, I don't think they're as bad as I thought that they were. No power seats, but I wouldn't expect that. It does have the traction control and the pedal switch. No cruise control, but I have a black steering wheel that I'm going to swap this with, and then just take it to the Ford dealer and have them turn on the cruise control. I really like cruise control. I use it all the time, but that's just me. And The old school radio. I'm surprised. My 2008 has the kind with the CD player in it. So you'd think that they would have discontinued this old style long ago, but nope. I did put the Walmart special center console. It didn't have one. This console gets a lot of hate, but honestly, guys, I really like it a lot. At least for me, it's always done when I needed it to. I'll turn it on. There you guys go. This Crown Vic has 945,000 miles on it. That's insane. And 3,381 idle hours. Now, Carolina Crown has a really good video about, well, he's got lots of good videos, but he's got a really good video about idle hours and what they mean, or how people take them to heart almost. So with this one being over 3,000, personally, I'm not worried about it. I'm just stoked about the mileage, that it has 58,000 miles. That is pretty much unheard of for a Crown Victoria Police Interceptor in this day and age. Did come with its owner's manual wrapped up, and the VIN on this sticker matches the VIN of the car. So this is the original owner's manual. It's never been opened. They left the Riverside County insurance card. This was unit 157. I'm assuming the 11 is just the year, since it's a 2011, but this is 11157. But yeah, so there's that. Does have the dual spotlight. They both work. They're LED. This is super nice. I've never had, my 08 does that too. I've never had a car with the LED spotlight. Even my 2017 Ford Explorer, I had the halogen one. So I'm really stoked that these ones are LED. Although that handle on the passenger one does kind of get in the way of my view of the mirror. Let's take a look at the back. Got the vinyl seats. I would like to change these for cloth. I don't know. I tried sitting back here and it's super slippery. And I don't know, I just like the cloth seats better, I guess. Another really cool feature on this car is that it has the bulletproof door panels still left in the front passenger and driver door. And when you close the door, you could definitely feel the difference between that and my 08. When I originally wanted a Crown Vic, I wanted a Crown Vic with the push bar, the dual spotlight, and bulletproof door panels, and this is it. It's even got the low miles, which is sweet. Let's take a look at the trunk. Not a whole lot. It does come with the Troy brand tray. I'm gonna probably swap this one out and put the Ford OEM one in there, the aluminum silver one. It's weird, they left it, but they unhooked it, or like uninstalled it. They took the metal hardware out. I don't know why they did that, but they did leave the trunk organizer and the jack, and it has all the lids. Now I know what you're thinking, how it has a spot for 4. How come it doesn't have the 4th one? And actually, if you manage to find the Ford instruction sheet on how to put this together, it specifies that it originally only came with 3 lids from the manufacturer. And it specifies this side and that side open. Now you can get a 4th lid, of course aftermarket, find one on eBay or the junkyard, but yeah, they originally only came with 3. I would like to put the trunk boxes in this. This one has them, and it has the tray and the organizer. And then I think this is a swapped trunk, maybe, because it looks like spots where it used to have an antenna, maybe, but there's no markings on the top at all. So I'm not sure what that could be. And then I added this, just better reflection for if you're ever pulled over on the side of the road and you got your trunk popped. Here's what's interesting. This pull handle, in case if somebody gets locked in here. Most cars, pretty much all cars have them. I think it's a federal mandate now. But look, they put a screw through that. So if somebody gets trapped in this trunk, they cannot use that escape handle. It's very interesting. I'm not sure why Riverside County would do that. You would think in case if a police officer got shoved in here, that they would want to have the officer have the ability to escape if need be. But they, like I said, they put, look at that, they put a screw in there so you can't pull it. It's very, very weird. I was gonna put the badging, but like I said, the rattle can. I cleaned this earlier before I drove it around, and it's just, like I said, whoever painted it didn't really care. So I don't want to put new badging on this. I'm just gonna buy a new one, go to the junkyard and get a new one. There's the trunk. You can see that they had some type of rear deck light system in here. And then I'll show you guys what I found in the trunk. Alright, so here's everything that was in the trunk. Now all this was underneath the trunk organizer. Got a lateral CPR face shield. Just like a vehicle check warning, filled out, used, unissued or unused drug test kit, a little microfiber towel or cloth for like glasses or whatever, pens, mechanical pencils, Surefire batteries. I'm not sure if they're still good. These batteries, so Surefire makes tactical flashlights for firearms and helmets. I have a Surefire helmet light that I'm gonna bring these in and see if they'll work. This is kind of embarrassing. This is a card to a shop in Riverside that shines your boots and gear for you. I gotta throw shade on that. Working in EMS, you know, we shine our own boots. We don't pay people to do it. So that's embarrassing to me, but I'm crazy. Just a clip and a Corners Sheriff Corner business card. Single pair of gloves. I just put all the hardware, the loose hardware in there. There's the bolts for the rear trim and probably the bolts for the mounting hardware for the pull-out tray. This is interesting, a public safety statement. This tells you or tells the officer what to do in an officer-involved shooting. And then on the back, it tells you how to act. I'm assuming that's what that means, the OIS, officer-involved shooting, is that basically it's just if the officer needs a companion officer, you know, for the intense situation or after the fact, I mean, like a peer support, just tells you how to act, but also that there is no privilege attached to conversations when you're with that officer. So everything could still be used in court, basically. So that's kind of neat. This is just a road flare lid or cap. And the road flare, or this sits on the road flare, and then you pull it off and pop this cap, and there's the striker right there. I think this is an N95 or one of the variants. Must be left over from COVID. Just 3M respirator instructions. The ATF Police Officer's Guide to Recovered Firearms. The pages are glued together, and it looks like it just has basic descriptions of firearms and, you know, probably just a bunch of unconstitutional information in there coming from the ATF. These are the reverse lights. So it came with an extra harness, the reverse lights for the trunk trim. And then that is the Riverside County Sheriff's Department receiving sheet. So I won't do a close-up on that because it is filled out. It's completely faded. You can barely make the words out of what it is, but like I said, it is completely filled out. It's got somebody's name, date of birth, social security number, all that still on there. And then this key, and I thought, oh, maybe it was a Crown Vic key, like a universal one, but nope. I think what this is a universal key to one of the common vehicles that get stolen these days, like the Hyundai Elantra. I think that's like one of the most common stolen vehicles in the United States today. Or the Ford F-150 is another one up there. But basically, criminals will get a key for one of those common vehicles to steal, and if you just shave down the key a little bit, it's basically like a universal key for whatever model that is, and that's one of the many ways that they steal vehicles. Hey guys, something that I forgot to add that I really wanted to share with you that I found very interesting is that my keys for my 2008 unlock and start my 2011, and my only key for the 2011 will unlock and start my 08. That's pretty well, it's somewhat common. I think that means that I have a fleet key. But I've heard of them, but I've never actually gotten to see one in person, so that's pretty neat. Another thing that I wanted to add is that I know people are going to ask how much I paid for this thing, and I paid $10,900 for it. And I know some people are going to laugh, but again, I'm going to do a shout out to Carolina Crown. He has a very good video about the pricings on these things, and that honestly, guys, the fact of the matter is, unless if you're a Crown Vic enthusiast, nobody's buying these cars or buying nicer ones, and finding a nicer one or one that doesn't look like the days of getting a car in this condition with 58,000 miles on it at government auction for $2,000 is completely over. These are not, it is getting harder to find clean Vics that don't need a ton of work.